Hey, real estate investors, this is your REI Funding Partners team here, bringing you a super helpful worksheet to use when you're thinking about purchasing a BRRRR deal. For the purposes of today's recording, we're going to assume that you already know what a BRRRR deal is. And what we want to help you do with this worksheet is run the numbers before you buy the deal so you can see if it's going to work out well for you to have a positive cash flow, and you're going to see before the end of the deal, are you really going to do a BRRRR? Are you going to have to leave a lot of money in, more than you expected? Are you going to get some money back? This sheet will help you do a really good analysis to determine that, because frankly, many people get into deals that they think are BRRRR deals, and they have to leave a lot more money than they were planning to in there. So this sheet is to help you run the numbers up front so you can really structure the project in the way that you want for the outcome that you want. So this is a simple Excel spreadsheet. Kind of one of the main things to know is that in the cells that are green, add your information in those cells. And the ones that are pink, don't change those, because those are doing calculations for you. So the numbers will come automatically into the pink cells based on what you plug into the green cells. So let's run through this one and kind of just give you an example. So here, this person for the test deal had a number of $59,900 to buy the property. Their ARV number for that property was $155,000, and then the as-is value, so the value of the property before any of the renovations were done, just the current value in this example was $59,900. You really want to buy it for below market value if you can, but if not, that's where you plug in that number. Here, if you had any kind of a bird dog fee or wholesale fee or anything, this is the cell where you would plug that in. Here is where the points would be for your purchase and reno loan. So when you think of a BRRRR and you're thinking of financing for a BRRRR, typically you're going to have two loans involved. You're going to have your first loan, which is short term. If you're funding with us here at REI Funding Partners, that's going to be a 9-month loan. We typically are going to try to cover all the costs in that loan for you if it's a good deal. So we prefer, when possible, to try to build in your down payment and all of your rehab costs into your loan so that it helps make the best BRRRR. And so points here, you would plug in this percentage here in this box. For us, the points are typically 3 to 4%. That's pretty standard for private money. And that's 3 or 4% of your loan amount. So again, that pink cell will automatically calculate when you plug in a number here. Here, you'd want to plug in your other closing costs. You know, like if you're looking at your settlement statement, other fees from that. That's just an estimate here of what title and maybe some other costs would be. So here, this just kind of totals up the numbers above, and it will be used later on down the sheet. Again, you don't have to do anything here, just plugging in the numbers in the green cells. When you get down to this section, you're going to plug in your rehab budget amount. You want that to be pretty accurate. The more accurate you get with that, the more accurate your bottom line number is going to be on this. So in this example, $35,000 rehab. And for draws, so again, here at REI Funding Partners, we love to fund in the entire rehab cost. That way you know and we know that the entire rehab monies are there and ready for the project. And you take those out in draws. So at $300 per draw, this figures that there's going to be 3 draws for the life of this project. So again, this cell is totaling up the 2 numbers above it, and this will be used later on as well. Again, if any of this seems complicated to you, just remember, fill in your numbers in the green cells. I'm just giving a little bit of extra explanation here in case you're a real numbers person and you want to know. Now we're getting into the holding cost piece of it. So your loan amount from your private money loan, we will potentially go up to 75% LTV sometimes on these BRRRR loans. So that's what I've plugged in here in this green cell. It's calculating the percentage of that. So that's going to be 75% of ARV right there for a loan number in this case. Interest rates run from 10.99 to 12.99. So I just kind of put it in the middle here. That calculates your monthly interest payment. You would put in your own estimates for utilities while you're working on the house, and if there's any other monthly cost while you're holding it, such as lawn care, you'd plug it in there. Again, this pink cell is just adding up your payment and your utility costs and everything here. Then you're going to want to key in here, how many months do you think it's going to take you to fix and get this refinanced? So this is going to be, as it says here, how many months from the date of purchase until the date of refi. The shorter you can do this, the better, because that's going to be less on your holding cost. So the holding costs get totaled up automatically here. And then this just adds up all of your costs together. What did it take to purchase it? What did it cost to renovate it? And what are your holding costs? You don't really need to worry about that number so much, but that's going to come into play when we get to the bottom. So at this point, you would have finished the rehab, and now you got to plan your refinance. So before you actually ever start your rehab, you need to know the terms for your long-term rental loan. So as I told you up front, there's typically 2 loans to a BRRRR. The first loan that's going to be short-term to buy it and fix it up. The second loan you're going to get is going to be your long-term or permanent financing, and that's going to be your rental property loan. So the first cell right here would be the loan to value on your rental property loan. So again, you're going to want to understand what is available as far as LTV for your rental property loan. 70 is a safe bet. Sometimes you can go up to 80% on those longer term loans. But I keyed in 70% here for this example. Again, these are all the green cells, so you're plugging in these numbers. So the 70% is going to give you this 108 number here. That actually should be pink. So by the time you see this sheet, that will be a pink box, because it's going to automatically calculate 70% of your after repaired value. Then we come down here and we've got an interest rate that you would need to plug in based on what you can get your refi loan for. And then how many years for the loan. So are you going to do a 20-year, a 30-year amortization? Again, these are all the terms that you would want to learn from your long-term lender to see what those would be. Plug in the date here that you think that's going to start for your refi loan, and what your closing costs might be on the refinance. This number here from the pink cell comes from this built-in mortgage calculator. So really, really handy. We thought of everything for you guys. So this you really won't have to go into. So if you see the numbers here and it looks really scary, don't worry. If you know Excel and you like to play with amortization tables, then it's here for you. But otherwise, just know that the things you're plugging into this sheet are coming back over into this sheet automatically, and it's calculating your actual principal and interest payment for the numbers that you plug in. So that's what's showing up here in this pink cell. That would be your actual principal and interest payment on a loan of 108.5 at 7.5% interest rate on a 30-year amortization. Almost to the finish here. You would plug in your own annual taxes on this property. You would plug in the annual insurance cost on this property. And if you had any HOH dues on a monthly basis, you would plug those in here, how much per month. So this number here totals up your monthly PITI, or principal, interest, tax, and insurance amount. So down in the bottom income analysis section, you'd plug in the rents that you expect for this property. You could plug in maintenance expenses. You may not want to change that 1% because that's the rule of thumb, is that if you have a property that's in good shape, that 1% per year is kind of the typical value, and that's based on your ARV as well. So that's 1% per year for the after repaired value. So this breaks it down into monthly maintenance expenses here. If you're getting a better deal, or if you're paying more than 10% for your property maintenance, you can plug that in here, and it will automatically estimate or calculate this number for you. And then at the bottom, it'll give you your net cash flow per month. So net means you would need to be holding back these maintenance expenses yourself. So you'd actually be receiving more than $74, but you need to put back into your reserve account $129 a month for maintenance. So assuming you're doing that and running your rental portfolio the best way, your net cash flow would be that. So you might look at that and say, well, why would I do all of this for $74 per month? Well, if you come down here and look, you only had $845 out of pocket to have a freshly rehabbed house. You've got your tenant in it. You're getting $74 a month positive cash flow, and the tenant is paying this off for you, but you didn't have to come up with very much out of pocket. So if you only had to come up with a few $100s, or maybe even a couple of $1,000 for every new rental that you added to your rental portfolio, how quickly could you grow that rental portfolio? Maybe sometimes people think that when they get into BRRRR deals, they're getting into it for the cash flow. It's really not. You're getting into a BRRRR deal to have equity that you're not having to pay for out of your pocket, and to have a portfolio that someone else is paying for you, and that's your renters. So if this were a negative number here, it would mean you actually walked out of your BRRRR deal taking some cash out. But let me show you really quickly. You could borrow more money on this. Sure, you could do a 75% LTV loan on your second position mortgage, but look what happened. You did walk out with some money, yes, but your cash flow dropped even further there. So one great thing about these kind of calculators when they're in Excel, you can play around with some of these numbers in the green cell, and you could say, hey, what if I wanted 72%? You're still walking out of closing with a little bit of money. You got a little bit more in your cash flow. So you can really use this up front at the beginning of your deal to run your numbers and see what to expect from that deal, and know if it really is going to be a good BRRRR deal or not. So again, this is your team at REI Funding Partners here providing this tool. We are more than a funding solution. We are your lending partner. So we're here to help you in many more ways than just bringing dollars into your deals. We want to bring helpful tools like this and analysis to help you build out the real estate investing business that you want. So we hope that this has been helpful for you. We look forward to seeing some deals that you have and hearing your stories around doing your BRRRR financing and building your BRRRR portfolio. Until next time, take care and God bless.